Muslims around the world are bidding farewell to the Islamic holy month of Ramadan and start celebrating the holiday of Eid al-Fitr.
A 5.1 magnitude earthquake hit Myanmar on Sunday morning as rescue operations from Friday's 7.7 quake are still ongoing.
Israel says it's expanding its ground offensive in southern Gaza as mediators continue to work to bring the troubled ceasefire back on track.
Muslims around the world are bidding farewell to the holy month of Ramadan and preparing to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, a time of prayer, family gatherings and festivities. Thousands of Palestinians gather on Sunday at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem's Old City for Eid al-Fitr prayers. In Serbia, the Islamic community held its central Eid ceremony in the Arab Mosque in Novi Pazar, marking the occasion with communal prayers. In Lisbon, Portugal, Muslims gathered in outdoor prayer spaces. Families donned new clothes and visited loved ones, blending tradition with modern festivities. Meanwhile, in Mecca, millions of pilgrims and locals joined in mass prayers at the Grand Mosque, underscoring the spiritual heart of the celebration. While many communities rejoice, others face challenges. In Gaza, Palestinians marked the holiday amid ongoing conflict, with dwindling supplies and recent airstrikes casting a shadow over what is usually a joyous occasion. The timing of Eid depends on the lunar cycle, with moon sighting teams scanning the skies for the crescent moon that signals the start of the holiday.
A 5.1 magnitude aftershock hit near the city of Mandalay in Myanmar on Sunday morning as emergency teams continued rescue operations following Friday's massive 7.7 magnitude tremor. At least 1,644 people have died and more than 3,400 are injured, according to the country's ruling military junta. Rescue efforts have been hindered by downed bridges, damaged roads, unreliable communications and the civil war. According to local media, many people were left sleeping on the streets, either out of fear of aftershocks or because their homes were brought down. Meanwhile, Myanmar's resistance announced a partial ceasefire on Saturday to facilitate rescue efforts. In neighboring Thailand, at least 17 people have been confirmed dead since Friday's quake.
Israel has expanded its ground offensive in southern Gaza, moving troops to the El Janin neighborhood in Rafah to create a security buffer zone. Heavy strikes are also continuing elsewhere in the enclave. The IDF says its forces are successfully dismantling Hamas assets and infrastructure. This comes as mediation efforts continue to bring the troubled ceasefire back on track after Israel resumed fighting almost 2 weeks ago. Hamas announced that it had accepted a Qatari-Egyptian proposal that would restore a temporary peace. The proposal would see Hamas free 5 living hostages in exchange for the resumption of aid, a weeks-long truce, and the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Israel, on the other hand, without offering details, said that it had countered with its own proposal in coordination with the United States. Meanwhile, Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem warned that the group will respond if Israel doesn't cease attacks on Lebanon. An Israeli strike targeted the Lebanese capital for the first time since a ceasefire was agreed in November. Qassem says Hezbollah will be left with no option but to, quote, resort to other alternatives if Israel doesn't abide by the deal.
At least 2 people have been killed and 35 others wounded in overnight attacks on Ukraine, according to its authorities. Ukraine's Air Force reported that Russia launched 111 drones over Ukraine, 65 of which were shot down and 35 lost. An elderly man and woman were killed following Russian drone strikes on the eastern town of Kharkiv, which also hit a military hospital, which Ukraine's general staff denounced as deliberate and targeted shelling. In an overnight address, Ukrainian President Zelensky said that active measures were being taken to prevent the Russian army from advancing into Ukraine's Sumy and Kharkiv regions. On Sunday, Russia said its air defense systems shot down 6 Ukrainian drones. Separately, Russia claimed on Saturday that its military took control of settlements in the Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia and Sumy regions.